We live. We're live. We're live. We live. I see. All right. All right. All right. All right. We gonna get this show. We gonna get this show going for y'all. You know. Shout out to everybody. That's chilling or got the day off for work or that's at work. Got some time to chat it up for a few. We gotta talk about it. That good shit. Right? A couple more people come in the room. And we can get it going. I see a couple of y'all pulling up already pulled up. That's what's up, right? Um, yeah. So you know what? Let me for the ones that is here. Let me just say this. Let's get straight to the point, right? That's it. Is it rigged? Is it scripted? Is it fixed? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, you tell me, right? You guys know the deal, right? Sorry, I apologize for yesterday. Um, I still had to get right. That's when I had got back um from Vegas. And as you guys see, I'm speaking to you. So those guys in power, they didn't chop my head off. Um, shout out to the Cowboys for that win. Shout out to the Cowboys for that win. And the members know what I'm talking about. That was actually the last game on our card, and we hit it. I felt that was definitely a no-brainer. I try to tell people that about the Raiders. Like Raiders is not going to win. Cowboys is a lock. I'll speak on that little Cowboy shit in a few with those damn fans. Them fans is horrible, man. Oh, they are horrible, right? But well, for the ones that's here, we'll have this conversation. And the ones that come in, or they missed the show, they just got to watch the playback, right? I guess it is what it is, right? That's it. Double P came in the building, right? You know, Jeremiah, he stopped through. He in the goddamn building, right? My man Grand D Marquise, he stopped in the building. He here, right? My man Reserve Intelligence, he here, you know? And that's for the people that just came in the chat, you know? Um, okay, you know what? Let's start off, let's go light. Let's start off with that. So I heard what Double P said, right? If anyone's watching, right? Double P says the Raiders is about to lose to Shador this week. Oh, my man Cannon. The Cannon, he stopped in the goddamn building. Bomb, please. Yeah, yeah, right. Let's start off. Let's start off. Yeah, with that whole Raiders thing and Shador Sanders. Well, Shador Sanders. What was the prediction that was made weeks ago? He's going to play, right? I said this. I made it clear. Shador Sanders is going to play for sure. Everybody, calm down, right? Unless the media themselves knew that, but they was, they had to play a game. They had to play a part, whatever it is, right? So it's like, all right, calm down, calm down. You don't think that they're gonna not let Shador Sanders play? He's going to play, right? Should Shador Sanders, Jeremiah, I got you with that Jordan Love question. But um, Shador Sanders, is he going to play? Yes, he's going to play. He's going to play, of course, right? It was all about when. And I say, yo, don't be surprised if he plays, he starts against the Ravens, because it would only make more sense. Not saying that it had to be a big deal, it was going to be a real big game or anything like that, right? But let's have him start. There's a couple of connections with the whole Ravens thing, with his father Dion, right? You guys can go look that up. I don't want to like go back and forth with that again, right? I spoke about that already. So you have Shador Sanders. You don't think he's going to start? He's going to start, and you know who he's going to start against? He's going to start against the Ravens, and that's exactly what happened, right? Now, check this out. Let me tell you, this is all planned out. It was all planned out that way, right? Um, they had Dylan Gabriel play for a while, right? They made sure he started this game against the Ravens. Stunk it up. I guess kept them close, right? Close enough, right? Something like that. Just close enough not to get blown out. Because the Ravens was losing, right? I took them on an in play and won. I already knew that was gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna lose the game. But we're gonna put Shedeur in. But in order to justify putting him in, let's make the game close. Let's make this a competitive game while he's in the game. So he comes in the game. I guess he does decent, whatever you guys want to call it, whatever, right? But in order to justify putting him in, the game had to end on a close one, right? So what happens is they was winning, but in the end, the Ravens go and get that touchdown. Derrick Henry does his thing, touchdown. Ravens win the game, right? But now you can justify keeping him in as a starter now, because then those can say, well, when he was playing, the Cleveland Browns did not get blown out. So Shedeur Sanders, even though he wasn't superb, he still kept the game close. So by him keeping the game close, now we can have him as a starter, because it would be stupid if we keep him as a starter if the Ravens was to blow out the Browns. You get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you guys did all of this. You made all this discussion about Shedeur Sanders, put him in, only for them to get blown out. That makes no sense. You understand what I'm saying? So, all right, let's keep the game close. My man Desmond Dixon in a goddamn building. But we got Chill Bill Faye in the building. No, Faye, I did not send out no pics yet. I'm sending that out tonight. I'm not sending no pics out right now. I'm sending them out tonight. Yep. Jeremiah in the building. Oh yeah, I got him. It looked like two Jeremiahs, by the way, too. Right? But yeah. I mean, so Shedeur Sanders really is not. It's not like he's gonna make a big impact or anything like that. He's not, right? But to make sense of it, let's put him in when the game is not. You got to make it still close. That way we can just still justify putting him in. That's all it was. It was nothing special. The Browns is always going to be the Browns. That's their role. I mean, it just is what it is. That's their role. So, to tell, for anyone that's wondering about the whole Shedeur Sanders thing, now, who's that? Yeah, it was Reserve. My man Reserve Intelligence in the comments, he put Raiders are now 1-4 at home and away. They go to 1-4. People, you should have saw that coming. That was like easy. That was an easy look right there. Lick. You should have took the Cowboys. Like I tell people, if you don't, we feel how we feel here. Whether you think it's real or whether you think it's rigged, scripted, and fixed, you still got to go with what makes sense. I don't rock with the Cowboys. You guys know I always shit on them. Right? But that don't mean that it's gonna stop me from picking them. Cannon is on the members, right? Like not once you buy the 30-day membership, right? That's when I send the pics to everybody. Football, college and professional, right? If I feel like I want to give UFC picks, I feel like it makes sense. I'll do, definitely that. Boxing, all sports. It's just that I know there's some sports a lot of people's not into, but any good NBA in plays that I rock with. Like I caught something good with the Knicks yesterday when I saw that they was down. And I said, yeah, I don't think they losing. But I don't think it was enough time to really give out to people. I don't think y'all would have caught it in time. Because when I finally caught it, it was like, I don't know if I could just send texts and emails to people, because the way the line kept shifting. And you probably wouldn't have got what you wanted to get out of that. But the Knicks, that was a scripted ass motherfucking game for anyone that saw that game. And Knicks still came out, right? So that's the whole thing with Shedeur. So don't even worry about that. Now, is he going to beat the Raiders? this week. Let's go to that. Let's go to the let me go to the schedule because I know we're gonna see Shador against the Raiders. The Browns against the Raiders. I don't want to say Shador against the Raiders. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the Browns is going to win the game this Sunday against the Raiders. I don't think so. I do think that the Raiders is going to win the game. To be honest with you, I tell you this, guys. Now, I'm on the Raiders to win this Sunday. I don't think Shador beats the Raiders. This is me personally, because see now they started him, right? So now it's like time for you to get punished. You know, the media has been asking for you the whole time, right? Where am I doing that, right? The media has been asking for you, Shador, that is, for a long time. Okay, we're gonna give him that, but you're gonna get punished. I don't know if people seem to think that when you have Shador in, now it's gonna be a whole bunch of he's just gonna go crazy and he's just gonna win and he's gonna win. Shador ain't doing nothing.
Are you fucking serious?
You know what I'm saying? Just know that. Let me tell you guys something. Shador is not going to do nothing at all. I'm sorry. He's not going to do nothing. But I'm on the Raiders this week, right? So that's something I'm letting everybody know, right? I'm on the Raiders this week. I'm on the Raiders this week against the Browns, right? We do got to talk about that. The playoffs is interesting, right? If it was to start today, I would want to know from you guys, what do you really think on the matchups? Let's just assume it started today, because we got to talk about that too, right? Yeah, Grandy says, be fired. The Raiders is good money. They know all the ninjas going bet on Cleveland. Drop a bomb. The people listening, what do you guys think about that one? I personally, everybody's going to be on the Browns. Now, am I saying that it's going to be a for sure thing? I'm not saying that, but based on my knowledge and based on what I see and what I know, I don't see the Browns. Yes, the Browns are at the bottom of the barrel, right? Is the Bengals completely eliminated, right? Because there's this whole talk about Joe Burrow. So I'm looking at it like this. Y'all. Wait. Huh? The over and under win total for the Browns. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, good info, Double P, on that one. I like that. The Browns over and under win total was 4.5 at -110 on both sides. Whether you take the over, whether you take the under, you're getting that -110, 4.5. Pretty interesting. They got 2, so they need 3 more wins. They already have 10. They're 10 games in. So they're 10 games in. But they got about seven more games, right? So they got 7 more games. They're already 2 wins in. So basically, out of 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, they would have to win 3 if there's anybody that bet on the over. Right? So they would have to win 3. They can go 3-4. Right? And then if anyone had bet that future pick on them going over, then congratulations, you can win that. So 7 games left for them. They're 2-8, so they're 2 wins in already. All they need to do is win 3 more games out of the next 7 games that they play. Right? Who's it going to be against, right? I personally think that if they do go over, it will probably be against teams that we don't expect them to beat, because usually that happens a lot. Right? So, I mean, my man Mark Horsfield in the goddamn building drop a bomb. I'm dropping a bomb whenever y'all come in. Pause. That was crazy. That's crazy. My man Floyd Heavyweather in the goddamn building. Somebody guard your children. Bomb, please. Right? So yeah, if y'all had just came in, Mark or Floyd, if you just came in, I'm taking straight up, I'm taking the Raiders this week. This week coming up, or this Sunday, I'm taking the Raiders. I'm on the Raiders That's one game that I think I feel confident about. It's to me, I'm looking at it like now Shador's gonna play, but I don't think people realize that it's not gonna be that easy. Meaning he's just not gonna sit there and win and go 7 for 7. Meaning 7 games he starts, 7 games he's gonna win. Like you just gotta calm down just a little bit, y'all. You know, this week. So yeah, we have an interesting schedule coming up, and which leads to the whole situation with the Chiefs. You guys see it, right? So as we talk about this Chiefs thing, we still have to talk about the other teams that's in the mix, right? Let's just get straight to the point, right? Let's get straight to the point, guys, and everybody else that's listening. Fuck the bullshit, right? Let's get straight to the point. So we have to talk about if the playoffs was to start right now, right? So if the playoffs was to start, which is interesting, right? Let's start off with the NFC. Let's do that, right? Shall we? So we'll start off with the NFC. If the playoffs was to start, damn, I should have put my charge in. If the playoffs was to start right now in the NFC, people, the Eagles will have the bye. The Eagles will be the number 1 overall seed. Eagles. Right now, if it was to start today, of course we know this is subject to change for sure, right? So, Eagles, bye. They can rest another week. They're good, right? If it was to start today. Once again, people. The number 2 seed, basically playing in the wild card weekend, would be the Rams. As y'all know, I've been high on the Rams for years, and you guys know why. No need to talk about it. You see the player that we have on the screen right there. You see him right here, right? Has a lot to do with Patrick Mahomes, right? Am I saying that it's a for sure thing that they win? They're just gonna let every LA team win just because the Dodgers won? That doesn't mean that the Rams is going to win. But we do know that the Olympics is coming very soon, 2028, right? We're in 2025, going into 2026, so things is about to heat up, right? There's always Olympic. I don't want to say Olympic pre-games, but there's always Olympic type of games in 2026 to prepare for 2028. You guys know that, right? But so I say all that to say you got the Rams at number 2, right? And shout out to them, shout out to the members. We got to win with the Rams against the Seahawks. Yeah, I know I fuck with Seahawks, right? But like I said, I don't have a favorite team. I got to go, this is business. And I said the Rams was going to win. Sure enough, they did. It's crazy how they won. But, I know what happens with games like that, the next few games. But the Rams got that. So the Rams is number 2, right? So you got the Rams versus the 49ers. So you got a playoff wild card game, a playoff division wild card game. We've seen this plenty of times. Not even with just that division, but we've seen it with all divisions, certain teams that meet in the playoffs. Usually that does happen at least once a year. Some with the way things go, and it depends on how many teams they have in the playoffs. So far, the AFC West is the team, like I said, not months ago, weeks and weeks ago, as you guys know, I said don't be surprised if the AFC East and the AFC West has 3 teams in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying that as a for sure thing, with over there with the AFC, with the AFC West, we're gonna get into that. But the NFC West, as of right now, that's what it's looking like. So you got the Rams versus the 49ers. So the 49ers now have the 7th seed with that win that they had this Sunday. Your man Purdy, they're back in playoff contention, right? So they got that 7th seed, right? So then now you have number 3, the Bears versus the Packers. Very interesting. I'm going to tell you people this. Be careful with that, because I personally believe, don't be surprised if that flips. Right? I don't know if the Bears is going to stay in the number 3 spot. I don't know. Now, if it happens, if it happens, it happens. Right? If it happens, it happens. That means that the Packers would be good for at least a 5, 6, or 7 seed. right? Fine, whatever, right? So don't put too much stock in that. Be careful, but they are on fire. They may be a what they call a middle of the season type of team. So just is what it is. It just is what it is. So I would say, so you got Bears versus Packers, which is another wild card division matchup, which is crazy, right? And last but not least, you got the number 4, right? The number 4 Bucks. That's just today. Because you guys know how I feel with the number 4, right? But that's just today. It's subject to change. But the Bucks happen to have the number 4 seed right now. So far, you got the Bucks, and they're facing off against the number 5, and don't sleep on 5 too as well, Seahawks. Now, I find that to be interesting, even though it's subject to change, right? But I find that to be interesting. Number 2 Rams against the 49ers, the Bears versus the Packers, and the Bucks versus Seahawks. And we all know the Eagles will face off against the lower seed that comes out of whatever game, right? You guys know that. Like whatever the lowest seed that wins out of all 3 of those games, they're gonna face the Eagles. So I can't give you an opinion on what I think will happen if the playoffs was to start right now with these seedings, because these seedings to me, I'm kind of suspect on these seedings, to be honest with you. They kind of, I don't know, because as you guys know, I said that I'm gonna be high on certain seedings, right? I mean, 1 versus 4, right? 2 versus 2, 2 versus 7, or the NFL can fool everybody and get a 7 out of 7 versus 7. Worst comes to worst, right? That can be a stretch, but I've been saying that for months. I would love to see that too, though. Just to say I told you so, right? But that's like reaching, you know? We'll see. But the Rams, number 2 spot. So hopefully they can meet another number 2 on the other side, right? The Bucks is number 4. So, like, based on everything I'm telling you guys and how I speak, right, I would have to put all my stock in the Bucks first, to be honest with you, right? Because I don't want to go against what I'm saying, right? But if it was to happen, I would pay attention to the Bucks. I would pay attention to the Rams. 7 versus 7, you would have to put the 49ers in there. As much as I don't rock with them, but I would have to put them in there, right? I can't go against what I'm saying. I would have to put them in there. Just is what it is. The Eagles, if it was the Eagles and they was to go to the Super Bowl, then I would have to take the Eagles versus a number 4 seed over there in the whatchamacallit, the AFC. And that would be so far the Steelers. The Steelers is number 4. But all right, let's turn our attention to the AFC. If the AFC, the playoffs was to start today, the Broncos would be the overall number 1 seed.
Are you fucking serious?
Right? So you guys hear me, right? The Broncos would be the number 1 seed. Crazy. I know. Number 2 seed will be the Patriots. New England Patriots versus the number 7 Jags. The Jags will have the number 7 spot. Interesting enough. Right? Patriots versus Jags. And you know what's so crazy? That's a 2 versus 7 in the playoffs. I ain't even realized that, right? Followed by the number 3 Colts. The Colts would be a number 3. And those can argue and say the only reason why the Colts is number 3 right now is because of their bye week. They didn't play a couple days ago, right? So we got to see what happens. But we would get the Colts versus The Chargers. The number 6 Chargers. Well, you know what's so funny? I can see the Chargers as a number 6 seed for some reason. I don't know why, but I can, it fits. When you think of Chargers, you can see them as a number 6 seed. Not saying that they're gonna win or go anywhere, but it fits. Chargers number 6, people, like I can see that. So Chargers number 6. You gotta be careful with them. Right? But Chargers number 6. Last but not least, you got the number 4 Steelers. Number 4 Steelers versus the number 5 Bills. Drop a bomb for the Bills too. I would say that because the way it's set up, if it was to start today, once again, if it was to start today, the Bills should have no right. If it's real, we also got to throw that in there. If it's real, the Bills should have no excuse at this point, right? There's no Lamar, right? Which Josh Allen actually has success over Lamar in the playoffs, right? But still, you know, it could be somewhat of a game type shit, right? So you got the Bills. They can take out. They don't have to worry about taking out the Ravens, and they don't have to worry about taking out the Chiefs, because the Chiefs won't be in the playoffs if it was to start today. So what would be your excuse? Are you going to lose to the Patriots? You're going to lose to the Jags? You're going to lose to the Colts? You're going to lose to the Chargers? You're going to lose to the Steelers? You're going to lose to the Broncos? Who are you going to lose against? Right? But once again, we know this is not over, subject to change, like we said. But okay, so the Broncos is the number 1 seed. So if I was going to stick on the number 14, if the playoffs was to start today, right, and the Broncos was the number 1 seed, one of the teams I would be rooting for, crazy as it sounds, would be the Broncos to come out of the AFC and face off against the Bucks. You see where I'm going? Shout out to my guys in the chat. You guys see what I'm saying, right? It would be the Broncos against the Bucks, right? Or if it was a number 2 seed in the AFC to win the AFC, I would be hoping to see a Patriots, because the Patriots hold the number 2 seed. Now, this is if the playoffs started today. I will be hoping to see the Patriots against the Rams. Once again, we'll get that once again, right? Or the 49ers, right? The Broncos, the Patriots against the 49ers. Yes, yeah. I got to make sure I'm saying it right for you guys. Yeah, Patriots against the 49ers, if anything. That would be interesting. Right? Number 7 versus 7, Jags versus 49ers. I don't know if that'll happen. If that was to happen, I don't see that happen, honestly. I just don't see that happening. For all that, you might as well just take the 49ers to win at home in the Super Bowl and get their number 6. Right? It's a bit of a stretch. But once again, this is subject to change. I don't think this is going to stay like that. No. I don't see that happening. 2 versus 2, I said that already. 1 versus 4, 2 versus 7, 7 versus 7. Oh, Patriots and 49ers, I said that already. So yeah. I don't want to keep repeating it. The NFL does love rematches. I would love to see it. It's just that with the way these seeds are right now, I don't see that with the way these seeds are lined up. So now that brings me to the chat. How many of you guys believe in the Chiefs to make the playoffs right now? Huh? How many of y'all believe in the Chiefs to make the playoffs right now? Be honest. Now, we had this discussion Not this year. Last year. So for anybody that's rocking with me now, right? You guys are not aware that last year, before the Super Bowl of last year, I stated if the Chiefs lose if they go to the Super Bowl and lose, which they did against the Eagles, right? The following season, don't be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. Anybody that's been rocking with me heard me say that. Don't be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. Or at worst, don't be surprised if they have a struggle season. You guys get what I'm saying? You guys get what I'm saying? Some of y'all just don't want to admit it. You guys get what I'm saying, though. So as I'm reading the comments, as I'm talking, your boy Floyd Heavyweather says, why would they have the Chiefs in the playoffs just to lose or embarrass them? I actually agree with you with that. Now, Floyd, if you remember, I did mention something a couple of weeks ago that for all that, right, they might as well not have the Chiefs in the playoffs as a way to save them from embarrassment. You get what I'm saying? It's like I think about it like Michael Jordan. Not saying it's all the way like Michael Jordan, right? But I look at it like this, like, you know my stance on sports, right? I refuse to believe that the Chicago Bulls was that good. They had to push a narrative. That's what it is. They have to push a narrative, right? So the thing is, the reason why Jordan gets so much love is because he's 6-0 in the playoffs. You notice they're not going to have somebody like Michael Jordan go in the first round, get bummed, go in the second round and get bummed, go in the third, right? His legacy has to still be intact somewhere. So why have him go in the first round, second round just to lose, right? Even to the point when he came back and played for the Wizards, they made sure the Wizards was so trash to the point where they didn't even get to make the playoffs. Right? So what happens is it still saves Michael Jordan's legacy. And you can still argue before he's 6-0, right? So now the same thing goes with Mahomes. Now, has Mahomes ever lost in the playoffs? Yes, he has. He's lost to the Patriots, even though that was the AFC Championship. He's lost to Joe Burrow and the Bengals, which was an AFC Championship. Yes, we understand these things, right? But it's like, okay, we'll have you at least go that far. So I ask, if the Chiefs do go to the playoffs, are they good for at least a loss in the AFC Championship, no matter who they go against? I don't care if it's the Bills, Patriots, Jags, Colts, Sharks, whoever make the Broncos, whoever makes it. These are things that we have to ask ourselves. That's why I won't be surprised if the Chiefs don't make it. But none of you guys should be surprised, because we had this conversation from the very beginning about the Chiefs struggling, did we not? We had this conversation. So if they don't make it, it shouldn't be surprising to any of you guys. Now, am I gonna bet any money right now that they're gonna win that they're gonna make the playoffs or not make the playoffs? No, I'm staying out of it. Because what I'm starting to see is this whole thing with the Chiefs is gonna come down unless they go on a fire ass run. They're 5-5 right now, right? Which means they also have 7 games to go. So what is their record gonna be? 7-0, 6-1, or 5-2? Those are the things everybody's thinking about, right? 7-0, 6-1, 5-2. At worst. right? To at least go somewhere, be considered for something. Why have the Patriots play in the first round or the second round just to lose? You might as well have them not make the playoffs, because you know what's going to happen? It saves them from embarrassment, because we already know what the media is going to do. They're going to be like, oh yeah, they didn't make the playoffs, but that's fine, because that's better than getting knocked out in the first round, second round, or whatever. Kind of like LeBron. You see how LeBron gets so much slander, right? Nobody thinks about how many times he went to the finals. They keep thinking about his, I mean, they talk about how many times he lost in the playoffs or lost in the finals. They don't ever acknowledge that you went to the finals a lot, more than Jordan. But see, Jordan's 6-0. Now, I'm not comparing Patrick Mahomes to them, but in a sense, I am, because it's like, we can save him by having him be trash and not go to the playoffs. We can have that. Make it more interesting. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl? That's not happening. I'm not even finna have this conversation with nobody about the Patriots. I'm sorry, the Chiefs and making the playoffs, because that's not gonna happen. Anybody that's been rocking with me knows how I've been on the Patriots. I'm so, why do I keep saying the Patriots? The Chiefs. I've been shitting on the Chiefs for a very long time, and I am not going to let up. I'm going to keep on going. Because I tried to tell people this was going to happen. Anybody that's been rocking with me since last year knows I said this shit last year. I said the Chiefs they're not going to three-peat. There's no chance in hell that they're going to three-peat. A lot of people went against me. Fine, I understand why, and I'm trying to tell them how this works. This is not real sports. It's not real sports. Now, if we had a conversation with real sports, then you would have an argument. This is not real sports. There's no chance in hell that the Chiefs are going to three-peat. They're not going to let that happen. The Chiefs will never three-peat. If Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs get their shit together next year or the year after, there's no chance you would ever three-peat. That organization will never three-peat. Well, not during the Patrick Mahomes era. It's not going to happen. I tried to tell people that. And I also said, once they lose, they're going to struggle the following season. And we are right now in the following season. I said it. This is not new. They're gonna start going downhill. I said that shit. I said it last week, the week before, the week before, week before. Last year, I said that shit. If they lose that, if they go to the Super Bowl, they are going to struggle the following season. And that's what we got now. This will still be a failure. They're already 5 games in as a loss. Is it possible they can still make the playoffs? Yeah, we're not counting them out. But this is considered a struggle year for them. 5-5. They're literally right there. What do you expect? And that's why I tell people, if the Chiefs was to win the Super Bowl, if they would have had won the Super Bowl last year, what would be next? What's next? You bet on them again? You say the Chiefs are going to win, they're going to 4-peat? And then they're going to 5-peat? And then the 6-peat? That's, for some people, it doesn't stop. So having a conversation with them about the Chiefs is kind of like, I don't even want to have this conversation, because the way you see things is kind of crazy. You got to stop betting on them all the time. Now, no, there are people that are Chiefs fans. No, I understand that. So this is not really about like shitting on Chiefs fans. What the conversation is you got to think more logic. Think with more logic. Let's come on now. Stop always just saying Chiefs all the time. To the point where there's people that think it's fixed, but they believe it's real because the Chiefs keep winning. Which that's what kills me. I'm like, so what do you think? You don't think this was gonna come? Right here? Shit, I kept saying it even when that movie came out, right? that movie him. I said this is gonna be his struggle year, yo. If he doesn't have some type of injury, and you know what could save Patrick Mahomes for real too. Not that I'm against injuries, no, and not that I'm for injuries, right? But if they have Patrick Mahomes fake an injury, right? Andrew, fake. If Patrick Mahomes can fake an injury, fake, that can help his case for the struggle year, for sure. I want you guys to, I want you guys that's listening and watching, and you guys in the chat, I need you guys to understand that, right? It will help his case more if he fakes. You know, because you know how I feel. Most of these injuries are fake, right? So if he fakes an injury, that can help this case as to why they had a struggle year. Remember, the season's not over yet. But so far, we are 100% correct. It's going to be a struggle year. But if he was to fake, that would be the fucking cherry on top of the ice cream. If that was to really happen, like, yo, come on now. That's right, Yosef. The Chiefs they are nowhere where they used to be. Listen, do I think they may catch a little bit of fire somewhere down the road? Because remember, it still is Patrick Mahomes. You guys also, let's just keep it real too. They run with narratives. There always has to be that it guy all the time. And Patrick Mahomes is the it guy, right? So don't expect him to have a downfall career starting now. I'm not going there. But a little bit of a struggle with that team, I believe that's happening. Now, I think they'll be playoff worthy, because it's going to be a point where the Chiefs do lose first rounds and second round type. I would probably say like second round type games. That's going to happen in Patrick Mahomes' career. That's going to happen. It is. I don't think the Eagles is winning the Super Bowl this year at all. At all. I don't know. Now, could they go back to back? I tell you this. Well, let me say this and let me say this clear now, right? Right here on Rig Scripted and Fix. If the Eagles win this year, right? The same thing what I said with the Chiefs. I'm going to say it early before playoffs even start. Mark my words. Today is November 20th, 2025. Mark my words. If the Eagles do win the Super Bowl this year, next year you better get off them, because next year they're going to struggle like a motherfucker.
Are you fucking serious?
Let me say it again. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year and go back to back, if the Philadelphia Eagles go to the Super Bowl and win and go back to back, you best believe that the organization next year is going to struggle. Mark my words.
Are you fucking serious?
And I'm willing to have a side bet with anybody about that. The Eagles will struggle next year if they do win the Super Bowl this year. If I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but if they do, it is. I don't give a fuck, honestly. I would like to see who they match up against in the AFC. I would love to see that, but I don't think I'll be high on the Eagles if they go to the Super Bowl. I don't see it. You know, I hear it. I see a lot of you guys say it, you know, back to back, and I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see. I don't see it because then also this is what happens too, right? Just hear me out. I want you guys to hear me out on this. Everybody has their era of being the main guy. Tom Brady. Let's just start with him. Tom Brady was the guy of his era. It's been for so long, right? But if you think about Tom Brady's era, what other quarterback? There was other quarterbacks he competed with, right? He had his nemesis. But how many of the guys that was his nemesis actually went back to back because he rivaled with Eli Manning. He rivaled with Peyton Manning, right? Both of those guys ended up with 2 rings each during the Tom Brady's era, right? Eli Manning with the Giants twice, actually went against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl them 2 times, right? But Peyton Manning, he had one with the Colts and he had one with the Denver Broncos. Those were two Super Bowls he was able to get during the Tom Brady era. But think about the years when that happened. That was spread apart, right? I don't see if Patrick Mahomes is the guy right now. If he's the guy right now, I don't see the I don't see you guys get what I'm saying, right? I don't see the person that he's rivaling with get 2 Super Bowls back to back when this is the Patrick Mahomes era. You see what I'm saying now? Now I want you guys to really think about that. Think about it clearly. Now, if that does happen, then we would have to ask ourselves, is this Patrick Mahomes league or is this Jalen Hurts league? We can't say this is Jalen Hurts league because it's not. Patrick Mahomes is the new guy. Patrick Mahomes is the new guy. He's the new guy. Why have Jalen Hurts? Okay, so if the Eagles win this year, what y'all gonna say? Now y'all gonna start preaching for the Eagles to go to do a 3-peat? Is Drake May gonna be the face? Wait. So you're asking, is Drake May for the New England Patriots gonna be the new face of the league?
Oh God.
Absolutely, positively, no chance in hell that ever happened. Drake May is not no new face. They don't do that like that. They don't. I'm gonna tell you something. When they do new faces, when they do new faces of a league, bro, they never usually do it on the same team that the previous face was, or even the face before that. They never really do that. Think about it. Tom Brady was already the face of the New England Patriots. He was the face of the league, and we all know how long that lasted, right? You guys know that. How long did that last? That lasted a very, very long time, and he played for the Patriots. Now it gets over to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has only been a starter since 2018, right? So he's been starting for, you got 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, right? What, like 8 years starting, right? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is his 8th year starting. He came in the league. He came in the league in 2017, but started in 2018. I don't think they just give up on him. That's too short of a time span for them to have the new face. And then also, what I want you to be careful about saying the new face was because, remember, that happened with Tom Brady. Remember, the Patriots went on a 10-year hiatus from winning the Super Bowl. We had a parity league. A whole bunch of other quarterbacks and other teams was winning Super Bowls in between their whole 10-year, you had Steelers winning Super Bowls, you had Colts winning Super Bowls, right? You had Packers winning Super Bowls, you had Ravens winning Super Bowls and whatnot, right? You had a whole bunch of different teams winning Super Bowls. We could have easily said those quarterbacks are the face, right? Shit, there was a time when a lot of people tried to argue that Aaron Rodgers was the face, but he was never actually the face. He was nice, but Tom Brady was always the face. I say all that to say there's no chance in hell Drake May will be the face of the league. There's no way that they're going to do that. That's like That's like somebody coming in and playing for the Chicago Bulls right now, and you're saying that they're the face. You really think the league and the organization will let that happen? The main guy who bought the Chicago Bulls all those trophies, you're gonna let somebody else come in and be the face of that team? Oh no, not even the face of that team, because there always has to be a face of a team. But I'm talking about the face of a league. That's gonna be disrespectful to what they did with Michael Jordan. You know that the Chicago Bulls have been shit ever since Michael Jordan, and that includes when they had Derrick Rose. Now Derrick Rose got an MVP. There's no way Derrick Rose is going to be the face of a league, the NBA. It's no disrespect to him, but what I'm trying to say is they're not going to repeat that. And then also, you got to pay attention to jersey numbers. Jersey numbers do matter too. Y'all remember? Hold on. See, that's why we got to have these type of conversations, yo. Especially for the people that, wasn't rocking with me last year or the year before that just started to rock with me. I did a show about the face, right? The ones that fuck with me, y'all remember this show, right? I'll just put it on, just put the cover on the screen. I just want to put the cover on the screen just so y'all see. Y'all remember this? Hold on. Boom. Boom. Right? Y'all see that, right? What y'all see here? What y'all see here? For anyone that's looking at the screen, what do you see? What do y'all notice? Here's a little test for y'all. Yeah. I want to see. What do y'all notice right there? What do y'all notice? For anybody that's watching, right? Right now I have a thumbnail of a live that I did early last year, some shit like that, right? Now, if you guys have the chance, go, if you're chilling and have some time, go play it back, and go check it out and go listen to it. There you go, Floyd, Double P, there you go, right? What it says, the face of the league is 6. Look at the title. The face of the league is 6. Is always gonna equal to 6 some way, somehow. Even with so crazy. Even when Tom Brady was number 3, it had to take him 2 teams to be considered the ultimate great, because he brought another team to the championship that first year he got with them, right? Ultimate greatness, and ended up with 7, which was crazy. But even somebody like Tom Brady had to cement the number 6 before he got to retire, before he had to retire. Y'all don't notice that? He couldn't even retire with just number 3. And that's the 12, 1 plus 2. He had to have the ultimate number, which is the 6. That's why we always talk about the 33. Now, this is not about no gematria, no conspiracy theory shit, but you guys know about the 33. We don't have to have that conversation. But anybody that's watching, you see right here on the screen, I had this conversation. I'm not new to this. We spoke about this already, y'all. This ain't nothing new. The number 6. Almost everything that I've covered, all of that. I've covered it all already. The face of the league is 6. Look at Tom Brady. That's why I made sure I had him on that. Look, 2 of them. Number 12 twice. LeBron James, number 6, right? We all know when he was with the Heat, right? We know about LeBron James. He's number 23 currently. 2 3s, right? 2 3s. That's basically the 33. Or 2 times 3 is 6. However you want to do it, right? Michael Jordan, we don't even need to talk about that, right? Next, Magic Johnson, right? He's number 32. Same thing, right? Boston Celtics rule Larry Bird. What was he? Number 33. 6. Again, a lot of people like to say Kobe was after Jordan, right? But before LeBron or whatever, right? So if you want to argue that, then fine, let's do it. You notice how he went from 8 and then changed his number to what? 24. Now, you can say 2 times 4 is 8 for sure, right? But what's 2 plus 4? Yeah, definitely. The 6, right? Patrick Mahomes, current MVP, current football face. He's the current football face. What is he? Number 15. 1 plus 5 is, I don't even got to tell you that. Let's go on. You see what I'm saying? So, what? Yeah, and this is LeBron. This is LeBron James' 23rd season at the age of 41, or he's going to be 41, right? And there goes that 14 once again, too, that I try to tell people about. So he happens to have 20. He happens to be on his 23rd season at the age of 41, when that whole 14 is a big deal, like I try to tell motherfuckers from the get-go. Y'all see what's going on here? This is what I try to tell y'all. The face of the league is 6. Somehow, some way, you notice the face of the league is always going to be 6. Now for the comments, I know people say, well, what about Jordan Love? Now, I don't think Jordan Love will be a face. No, I think he will have like the Aaron Rodgers treatment, right? Like one of those guys, right? But he won't be the face. He will compete with the face, but he won't be the face. I don't think Jordan Love will be the face. And also, I don't see the NFL really making players who play for the Packers the face, because there's a little bit of biasness going on. Now, some people will say, "Oh, be fired. What are you talking about when you say that?" Well, the Packers is actually owned by the NFL. That's an NFL team. The Packers is an NFL team, so we're not gonna just have the face on our team. That's like if they was the dynasty, right? And if you really put on your thinking cap, you could say to yourself, well, there's some bullshit, because the NFL as a whole owns the Packers and they always just keep winning. That's a little bit of biasness going on, right? But there's a lot of people that don't even know that the Packers is like as an NFL team. NFL as a whole owns that team. It's like a whole bunch of shareholders and shit like that. You know how they always show an NFL owner in the stands and shit like that? You don't hear them saying an NFL owner of the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love plays for the Green Bay Packers. He's number 10. I don't see him being the face. That's why when people call certain people the face, I'm like, I look at the jersey number instantly, and I can tell if this player will be the face of a league, especially when it comes to football. So that's a little gem for y'all too, if you ain't know. The faces of the league matter when it comes to that jersey number. Certain guys because remember, Larry Bird was the face, but he shared it with Magic Johnson. Especially with the fact that they both, one was on the East, one was on the West. Right? Those were the face. Both. What the fuck? Oh, I'm sorry, my fault, y'all. Those, you know what I'm saying? It was easy to do that. Now, with one guy becoming the lone face, that I would say it actually started with Michael Jordan. Jordan Love does have the skills to be the face of the league, but he won't be the face of the league. He can't be the face of the league. He got to change his jersey number. He has to be. Remember, these guys are handpicked. That's the reason why when you ask me, do I think Patrick Mahomes is good? Yes, I think he's talented, but do I think he's the greatest, or do I think he's the best on the field? No, he's handpicked. Look at his jersey number. Y'all know me. I was a Patriots fan heavy. He's handpicked. Michael Jordan, handpicked. Jordan is nice, but Jordan is not the most skillful player I've ever seen. Handpicked. A lot of the moves that Jordan do now, if you was to put Jordan in the league right now, it won't be, we wouldn't care, because these players now, they do all that shit. Matter of fact, they can jump higher than him, jump farther than him. You guys know that. All that finger roll, all that, like, being acrobatic. These players do that now. You guys know that. A lot of people don't want to admit that. But it just is what it is. The moves that Jordan was doing when he was playing, these players are doing way better than that. You guys know that. Nobody wants to admit that. It just is what it is, right? Come on now. A lot of guys is handpicked. The jersey numbers is usually what tells you who's going to be the face of a league, people. Just know that. Please pay attention to the jersey numbers. And this is not being no conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but I need you guys to understand that. Jersey numbers. Jersey numbers. Now, yeah, jersey numbers. That's the only way I can see it. That's not the only way I can see it. Fuck it. That's the way it usually is, especially nowadays. And it's not always just going to be, don't get me wrong. Hold on. Hold on. Oh yeah. No, I had to check something. But yeah, you have to pay attention to the jersey numbers. Like 6 would be involved some way, somehow. Now, all that other numbers that's involved, yeah. But when you are the current face, you're usually, matter of fact, fuck it. Tom Brady, right? He was number 12, right? But he had to be number 12 twice. Shit. Who was I don't even want to say the face, but who was the guy that everybody looked up to before Tom Brady? I think it was Joe Montana, right? So it was Joe Montana. Even when he was with the San Francisco 49ers, his number was 16. 1 times 6 is 6. It's still going to go back to that 6. Now, when he went to the Chiefs, he became 19. But the time he went to the Chiefs, he was no longer the guy anymore. He didn't get to stay with 16. He had to change that number. He was no longer the guy anymore. See what I'm saying? Gotta pay attention to shit like that. Somebody can still argue with me and say, oh, well, Joe Montana was number 16, and then he was number 19. That equals up to 35, and if you do 5 times 3, you get to 15, because 5 plus 1 equals 6. Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
It's not about Hurts. Jalen Hurts will not be the face of no league, Joseph. He won't be no. You know what it is? You know what it is? I think people don't realize when I say the face of the league, not the guy who's winning championships. Let's be for real. Tim Duncan was winning championships. How many of you guys can say Tim Duncan was the face of the league? Honestly, how many of you guys can say that? Tim Duncan was winning championships. Tim Duncan was he took down LeBron James in the finals before. Well, I think he did it twice. Once when LeBron was playing with Miami, and then also when LeBron was playing with Cleveland. Tim Duncan took him down. There was time Tim Duncan eliminated the Lakers, Kobe and Shaq, from getting to the finals. He done that. Is Tim Duncan the face of the league? He was number 21. Yeah, that's the 3 or whatever. But as far as the face, was he the face of a league? Right? So I say all that to say you can win championships. You can take down the face, because the face ain't going to win every single championship. He ain't going to win every game. But nah. So when I say the face of that's why I need you guys to pay attention when I say the face of the league. Not the guy that looks good at the moment. We're talking about the face. We're talking about the face of the league. The face. That's Patrick Mahomes. And not to mention, Patrick Mahomes, Hurts is in the league at the same time Patrick Mahomes is in the league. At what time will Jalen Hurts become the face? Because that would mean that you're knocking Patrick Mahomes over and saying, Patrick Mahomes, you are no longer the guy. You're done. You're washed. We're not dealing with you no more. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You got to realize that's a dangerous game. I don't see the NFL doing no shit like that. If Patrick Mahomes goes on a struggle, best believe Jalen Hurts is going to be right behind him and go on a struggle as well, evenly. If Tom Brady had to go on a struggle, best believe, guess who else was going on a struggle? Your man Peyton Manning. Right? And what I mean by that is being considered the face. Right? Once again, Peyton Manning was able to get 2 rings during Tom Brady's. No. Tom Brady had won another one before the Broncos had won their final one. Yeah. That's what, damn, my point is even being proven even more. This is what I'm saying, y'all. That's not going to happen. Jalen Hurts will never be the face of the league while Patrick Mahomes is in the league. Will Patrick get 5 rings? I don't know. That's up in the air. I don't know what to say about that. I would say I don't know. I'll be surprised if Patrick Mahomes is not. Well, you know what? Let me not say that. I'll say that for another conversation. There's something I do want to say, but I want to save that for another conversation. I don't think we should go there too early. Something I do want to say. But will Patrick get 5 rings? I don't know about that. Mark says Luka, Jokic, and Shea MVP candidates, all crazy good this season. Yeah, but I don't see any of them being the face. It's still American basketball. That's what people got to realize too. Still American basketball. Of the face, that's a hard one. When people had that conversation, you really got to think that the face. Nah. Jalen Hurts should never be the face of the league. NHL has been dominated by Florida and Tampa team ever since COVID. Yes, especially I would say especially Tampa Bay the most to me personally, and not the no that's Denver. I was gonna say something, but yeah, that's Denver. But yeah, Tampa Bay, yeah, they've been doing their thing. Hurts numbers number 1. Hurts is black. Bill Russell number 6. Wilt Chamberlain number 13. Yeah, but was Wilt Chamberlain ever the face of the league at the time? Like, he was the guy, but the face? Because I think people really don't understand that word face. Just think about Michael. You know what? To make things more simple, just think about Michael Jordan. Patrick Mahomes will cap at 4 rings. Yeah, some people say 4 rings. Well, all right. I mean, I don't. Do I see him winning another ring? I'll tell you this much. If Patrick Mahomes was to win another ring, does he win it with Andy Reid as a coach? Travis Kelce gone? You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be a whole new squad. So I would like to see, what we got to do is pay attention to the drafts that the Chiefs get in the near future. Starting from not this year, but the next 2, 3, 4 years. You got to see how that looks. You got to see how that looks and see where it's going. Pay attention to those players that they might get. Right? Because if they stay on top the whole time, how could they get a good draft pick? They're not going to do the whole Patrick Mahomes thing once again. Remember, Patrick Mahomes came in the league, at 10, 11 or some shit like that? I don't see them getting another good player, drafting him real late, and then they go on a Super Bowl run again. I don't know. Maybe there has to be a time where they suck or they're mediocre and they can land somebody good in the draft, and then they can re-up and then probably win another ring again down the road. You know, that's why I think like sometimes when people speak too quick, they're not thinking about it's a structure. It actually takes years to do these things, right? Right now, of course, the NFL's cooking up what's going to be what's going to happen the next 4 or 5 years. You guys do know that, right? They're cooking that up right now. We just got to catch it. They building shit up. It's a build. You ask me, do I think Mahomes is pure black? Because for me, I know for a fact he's not pure black. So maybe someone else. Yosef, what's the question? Just repeat it, because there's a lot of things coming in. So just repeat the question. It's just repeat the question. Yeah, just repeat the question because it's coming in. Double Tap says my eyes on Cooper Flag for the next face. He's number 32, and his last name is Flag. Other than him, I don't think he's the next face of the league. Cooper Flag. Oh. I don't know about that one. Cooper Flag. I see where you're getting at. I see where you're getting at, Cooper Flag. I understand where you're coming from. I think if Cooper Flag is going to be one of the main guys, he's going to have a nemesis. I think Cooper Flag won't 100% be the face of the league by himself. I do think that he would have to share it with somebody else, and that would have to be a black player, and they will have to have a rivalry, to be honest with you. And I think it will have to be an even rivalry with Cooper Flag and another said player of another race, and they make things exciting. Unless, that's the only way I really see Cooper Flag being a face. It's kind of like Larry Bird. They had to share with Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a great shooter, right? But let's just keep it 100. The sport of basketball, not to get off of football, but the sport of basketball is built on athleticism. Let's just be for real. Nobody wants to watch a game of some pure shooters. You need somebody that knows how to dunk that ball with some style, that knows how to dribble with some style. I know you guys don't want to be honest about that, but that's the truth. If there's 2 games that you could choose from of just guys just straight shooting like Larry Bird, right? That's what the game mainly is about, the shooting. But then you got athletic guys that knows how to dunk from far. They have a jump shot too, but they know how to twist and turn in the air, like a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? A LeBron James. Even the name somebody that knows how to dribble like Allen Iverson. Kyrie Irving. Let's just be for real. More people's going to watch those games than they watch the ones with the pure shooters that don't have no athleticism. It just is what it is. It's not my opinion, but that's a fact. So in order to be a face of a league when it comes to basketball, you have to have that athleticism. You have to have that style. It just is what it is. So I don't know. The Eagles have been winning a lot since Joe and Marino's podcast. Question: is it that the Eagles GM is Jewish? You talk a lot about gematria. You want to say gematria numbers? He's also friends with the Philly mob boss and the guy Betts, and he has a podcast. So you asking, is that the reason why that Philly's winning? So then I would say, then why don't everybody just bet on Philadelphia to win the championship for the next 5 years? If that's the case. Because once again, it don't work like that with the mob. It don't work like that. You guys know guaranteed bets usually work when I need you to fold and lose some games. That's what I need you to do. But Philly's winning. Of course, it's set up for Philly to win. But you would have to be friends. Let's assume it's real. All this is real. You would have to be friends with another team and have them blow games. That way I can get a guaranteed payout. So we all know, I mean, the whole situation with Philly and who's cool with who. You know, they could be mob bosses and things like that. But I don't think that's the reason why Philly is having the success that they're having. Because then it's going to turn into the whole Chiefs thing. To me, it's going to turn into the whole Chiefs thing if that's the case. So it's like, okay, when is Philly going to lose? Yes, they have been to how many Super Bowls they've been to? Let's just say since the 2017 season, right? Since the 2017 season, How many seasons is that so far? That's 8 seasons we've had. Yeah, 9 seasons we've had, right? Patriots, Eagles. Patriots won. Eagles won with Nick Foles, right? And then Jalen Hurts brings them to 2 more, and they go 1-1. So the Eagles are 2-1 since 2017 in Super Bowl play. To me, that's not enough. Now I understand what you're saying though, Joseph, about why we've seen them 3 times already. Right? We've seen the Eagles 3 times since the 2017 season. That's a lot, right? Because there's teams that you don't see go to the Super Bowl for a long time. Yeah, sure enough. That's true. Like I would say that the Eagles been to the champ since 2017. The Eagles been to the championship the second most. Yeah, the second most behind the Chiefs. Fair enough. Right? And you got the Rams and the 49ers. They went 2 each and some shit like that. But it's like the Eagles, I don't have a lot of stock in the Eagles like that, right? If I have to bet them and it makes sense, I'll bet them. But to me, the Eagles are, you have to be careful, and I tell people be careful betting them. I do believe that before the tush push is over, I do think that the Eagles is going to get eliminated some way, somehow by the tush push. I said that when it first happened. I'm still standing on that. I won't be surprised if the Eagles have a failed tush push and get eliminated some way, somehow, or lose a big game from a failed tush push. It only makes sense. And if I was the NFL, that's how I would run it up. Before I get rid of it, this is how I'm going to have you lose through a failed tush push. Triple G says KC is running the table. You mean just what do you mean by that? What do you mean they're running the table, or is it over? Jeremiah says, do you think black quarterbacks is better than white quarterbacks in your opinion? Are you talking about in real play? Right? Because like I've always said, in real play, if you're talking about real football, like I'm gonna say it again, I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. In real football, right? If we're having real competitive football, to me, Lamar Jackson is actually the best quarterback in the league. For sure. Lamar Jackson is the most talented quarterback in the league right now if you want to talk about real football. But we all understand the whole thing with rigged, scripted, and fixed. We know that. But real football, there's not one quarterback that you can name me currently on the roster right now that's better than Lamar Jackson in real football, right? Who I would probably say is second would be Deshaun Watson, to be honest with you. Yeah, I said it. Yes. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, and as far as a pure quarterback, all the intangibles. He's not known for throwing, but he has a fucking arm. They want to see him run. But if you're talking about real football, Lamar, yeah, and I stand by that. Lamar is the best, most athletic football player, better than Michael Vick, that I've seen. And if football was real, that motherfucker would have so many rings. If it was real. Obviously you would have to put a good team behind him. Right? Lamar is better. Deshaun, I don't think Deshaun is past his prime. We haven't really seen him play like that. Deshaun Watson, I don't think is past his prime. I'm sticking with Deshaun Watson was paid, and I'm going to say this. Deshaun Watson was paid to take a step back. Those allegations, to me, I don't think is real. I think it's bullshit. Deshaun Watson was paid to take a step back. Notice how certain players always get paid and an injury happens or some shit happens to them. Something big. Shit just happened to Purdy. He just got signed a big ass contract. Now all of a sudden he injured and he can't even play half of the season. They putting in Mac Jones. Fucking Joe Burrow got paid not too long ago. His ass can't play. They have to let backups play for him. You ever notice when certain quarterbacks get paid big, it's really to take a step back. Them motherfuckers don't be injured, y'all. Because then if that's the case, then the NFL would have to start reevaluating how they give out these contracts. Because every time we give out a big, huge ass contract, these players can't never play. So why do we pay them? See, I look at things differently, y'all. And I always tell people, they're going to come here and rig script and fix. They're going to hear something different. They're not going to hear me speak like I'm from ESPN or I'm from one of the fanboys that have a YouTube channel that talks about their team. You're not going to hear that over here. Like, you're going to hear the real deal on how shit really goes if you really sit back and just pay attention. Deshaun Watson is, I think, maybe the second best. But there's other players you can definitely, like, you know, he's better than Patrick Mahomes for 1,000% sure about that. There's other players you can put him up against. Yeah, I understand that. But Lamar Jackson in real football, y'all, real? There's no chance in hell that anybody in the league right now is better than Lamar Jackson. Nobody in real football. Nobody. At all. At all. Deshaun Watson got paid. He got a lot of money. That's what's next for him. He don't really got to do anything. He got paid to take a step back. Think about it. They couldn't push him. There's not enough. You got Lamar. There's so many people you got to push. We can't push Deshaun Watson when we pushing Lamar, we pushing Josh Allen, we pushing Mahomes. Yeah, I try to tell people that the window for certain football players is it's low. Deshaun Watson had to take a step back. In real football, right? If you gave him some offensive protection in real football, because remember, when he was with Houston Texans, he didn't have that. Put Deshaun Watson as the Kansas City Chiefs. How about that? Jaden Daniels, I don't think he's next up. No chance in hell. He got injury problems already. He's going to be another ordinary quarterback. Michael Penix Jr., whatever, he's going to be another ordinary quarterback. A lot of these black quarterbacks, remember, it's too many of them now. It's too many of them. That's why I tell people you got to be careful with that. It's too many of them. Remember, only one quarterback can win that Super Bowl trophy. If the NFL needs storylines, if they need a face, best believe a lot of these quarterbacks is going to do bad. I don't have stock in Daniels. I don't have stock in Michael Penix Jr. A lot of black quarterbacks I don't have stock in, especially if they have a black coach at that. You know how the NFL feels about letting a black coach and a black starting quarterback raise the trophy at the same time. Once again, I had this conversation with you guys a couple of months ago. I have yet to see that, and not nobody can point to me a year in which the black coach along with the black starting quarterback both raised the trophy at the same time. And I'm still waiting for somebody to show me. Yeah, how they doing? Stroud is going to be a hit or miss. I don't see him winning anything unless he cut his braids off. I don't see it. I don't see it. Now I know y'all probably say I'm going overboard with the things I'm saying, but you got to pay attention. It really be like this though. They have the Texans fighting for a playoff spot, which I already kind of knew that was going to happen, right? Are they going to end up with it? We got to see about that. I don't know. But they got to fight with the Texans, they got to fight with the Chiefs, and they got to fight with the Baltimore Ravens as of right now. Texans, Ravens, Chiefs is fighting for that last 7th spot. So we got to see. A black owner yet that has full control? Have yet to see that, right? Jeremiah says, why can't they have a black coach and a black quarterback raise the trophy? Well, my question to you is how come we never seen it yet? How come we? The NFL, I'm not gonna say predominantly black, right? Because to me, I feel like it's equal because there's a lot of white players too, right? But if you want to go with the fact that the NFL has a lot of black players, I'm asking you, why can't you put a black quarterback with a black coach, but it happens to be like a Lamar Jackson type of quarterback with a tell me a black head coach. Let's just say Mike Tomlin. Let's just throw him out there, right? Because he has success, right? Why don't you put a Mike Tomlin and a Lamar Jackson? Why can't they put a duo like that together? Maybe just not them, but in the near future. Why can't the NFL put that together? You notice they won't put no type of shit like that together, right? The top of the top black head coach and the top of the top black player quarterback. Why don't we ever see that? That's a question that you gotta ask the NFL. We had a black president, bro. I'm not an Obama fan. Never have. Never. Jeremiah, why we never had a pure black president? And you guys know what I mean when I say that. I'm talking about a pure black president. Dancing Poppy just came in. He says, I'm sorry. God damn, I can't even get my words right. Does Shedeur get the W this weekend versus the Raiders? Well, I'm on the Raiders. In the beginning of the show, before I guess you came, I told everybody I'm on the Raiders this week at home. Does Shedeur do good? I don't know. Maybe he does, but I'm on the Raiders this week because this is his first actual start. I mean, the Browns can get it, yeah, but I'm on the Raiders this week. I'm on the Raiders this week. I don't believe in that whole hype shit. I think the NFL dropped the ball with taking too long to put him in. And with the fact, let's be for real, we only really praising him because he's Deion's son. If football was smart, they would have Deion do good over there in college at the same time while Shedeur's playing. But since Deion is trash, that whole hype has really died down. And I think that's where they fucked up. So Sanders all else this season. Yeah, that's how I feel. But you know what I forgot to do? I forgot my shout outs. I forgot my shout out. So I gotta give my shout outs. Right? So let's see who we had in the building on today's show and shit like that. Triple G pick in the goddamn building. You know what I'm saying? We had Floyd Heavyweather in the goddamn building. Guard your children and all that. Right? Who else we had? Oh, wait, my fault. Floyd Heavyweather. Oh, I already got him. My man, Dude, DEW83 in the goddamn building. Somebody guard your children. Let me get a drum. Let me get a bomb, please. Dancing Poppy in the building. Goddamn building. Bomb, please. Dubbo Lights, he came through earlier. He came in the goddamn building. My man Dud, boom. Coalition, Breezy, take it easy. Breezy, bomb, please. My man Antonio Mims, bomb, please. Mello the Great, bomb, please. My man Noah 4997 in the goddamn building. Guard your children, bomb, please. That's what I'm talking about. Reserve Intelligence, he had to come through. Bomb, please. Randy Marquise, that's a bomb. The Cannon, that's a bomb. Listen, y'all, if anybody that's in it, that's watching, that's not in the chat, I gotta give my chat the shout outs, and we dropping bombs like it's 9. Let me stop. Let me shut up. Jeremiah, he came through in that building. Drop a bomb. Bill Faye McVeigh, he came through. Bomb. Man, I'm loving it. Grandy Marquise, I got you, right? Mark Horsfield, he came through. I gotta drop a bomb. Mark, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like. Shout out to all y'all. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you here with me. Double P, did I get you? Or am I tripping? Because if I'm not, I'm going to drop another bomb. Drop it. That's what I'm talking about. Desmond Dixon in the goddamn building. Guard your children. Bomb, please. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know. Dashing with Yosef. He came through. You know, he dropping his shit. Bomb, please. Man, I don't like to miss you. I gotta make sure I get everybody. Buff Daddy, he came through in the building. He said Rams versus Bills in the Super Bowl. I saw a lot of y'all say that too. Yeah. Let me say that. A lot of y'all, when I was reading the comments, I see Bills. A lot of people believe Bills can go. And hey, we're gonna see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Bills. If they make it, hey, it's up in the air for them. It's up in the air. So I see Rams versus Bills. I saw, you know, Packers versus Bills and shit like that. I see that. But yeah, bomb for my man Buff Daddy, you know? I see that. Once again, I gotta make sure I got everybody. I gotta make sure I got everybody. I don't like to miss nobody and shit like that. Right? Let me know if I missed you. I don't want to kiss you. Oh. I got reserve. Yeah. I got reserve. I gotta make sure I got everybody. I think we good, right? Yeah, I got Noah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think I got everybody. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, we gonna see what we gonna shit up, dude. This is the NFL talk now. Yeah, the NFL talk. Yeah, this is NFL talk, right? You know what I'm saying? So listen. Wait, what? Nah, Fire. Daniels is gonna be good next season. The Commanders have a new stadium deal. Yeah, but the thing is, but I don't know. I don't know. You know what? It'll make more sense if they bring the Washington Commanders back to the Washington Redskins, to be honest with you. Just bring it back, and then that's how you can hype the team right back up again. That's how I see that shit. It would be dope if they just do it just like that. It'll be, but y'all should have known what was going on last year when he had came in the league. It was election year. Eagles, that represent what? That represents our country, right? The eagle represents our country. You know, Washington, where they play at, that's where the nation's capital is at. So it would have. I can understand. It makes sense why we saw the Eagles versus Washington in the finals, in the NFC finals. I said finals, but you know, in the championship last year. So it makes sense, right? But it made everybody believe that that's the farthest, that's the lowest that the Washington Commanders can go. Yeah, right. They're gonna struggle. you know what I'm saying? Like, go back to the Redskins. Yeah, exactly. Go back to the Redskins. It makes more sense than you could push the team like that. It's just certain things, right? So I need to know from you guys: Chiefs playoffs or not? I remember the show we did in September, right? When I showed the odds, the Chiefs to go minus 194 to make the playoffs, which was a little suspect to me, right? But looking like, I don't know. Do they make it? Do they not? Now, I'm going to send out to the members the pick for the Colts versus the Chiefs this week. That's going to be one of the games. Well, I still got to decide. Wait, hold on. I still got to decide. That's going to be one of my last games I think about sending you guys. But that is one of the games. It is. Chiefs versus the Colts, right? And I don't know which way I'm going because I could say Colts. I could say Chiefs, right? Because remember, too, you also got to understand the Chiefs also need help. They need other teams to lose to help their case to actually make it. So let's not even just really think about them winning all these games to make the playoffs. I mean, they still got to win some, obviously, right? Because you gotta at least be a 9-win team. Well, we got 7 games left, right? At least at best be a 9 to 10 win team, right? So are they in trouble? Are they not? That's what I need to know. You know, does Daniel Jones go back to regular scheduled programming? I mean, you know, Noah says they are locked to make the playoffs. So if anybody want to get on that, lock to make the playoffs. You should be getting some good money for that one. Vegas cashing in on that KC Homer money. Yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying, right? Those KC futures is gonna affect a lot of people. It's also gonna affect the books too. So what happens? Are the books sitting comfortably on this one? Did they price it wrong? Because I remember there was a time, what was it, 2 weeks? We had the conversation 2 weeks ago. The Chiefs was on a slump, but they was a minus 650 to make the playoffs when they were still on a slump. You guys noticed that? Did you guys catch that? Right? Now are the books adjusting themselves and fixing it up now? I don't know. But see, I'm letting you guys know straight up. If any of you guys speak to me privately, I'm letting you know I can't be on the Chiefs unless I see some type of, unless I see something that makes me say, yo, I'm taking the Chiefs. Unless I see something. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because, let's keep it 100, I did say this is going to be their struggle year. I said that last year before last year was over, right? So I can't sit there and have a conversation with you one-on-one and be like, yo, the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. I'll be, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I'm playing it. I would say this. Let me just say this. I'm playing it game by game. They have 7 games left. I'm playing it game by game. But I do believe that the Chiefs' conversation to make the playoffs, it will be there. For that last spot, I think there will be conversations about them having that last spot. So they still got to win a couple more games, but there also has to be teams that's above them to kind of, be so-so. Just like the teams under them. Because you still got to think about the Ravens. What do they have in store for the Ravens? We have to see how all this plays out starting now. We're in the middle of November. So starting now, let's see what happens. Nobody's betting 650 unless it was for a big future parlays. Exactly. Noah, I agree with you 1,000%. KC right now is worse than Pittsburgh. Absolutely, Mark. Right? Double P, I got the Chiefs plus 1,000 for the Super Bowl. Double P still think they can go to the Super Bowl. Y'all know my stance on that. If we see the Chiefs make a run and go to the Super Bowl, it has to be against the Rams. It don't even make sense. And are they finally going to give me that? Right? Am I finally going to get that wish? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. You know me, right? Hold on. Am I finally going to get that wish? Let's see. Where's it at? Man. I ain't put that there. Shit, I wish I did. But yeah, y'all remember that Matthew Stafford versus Patrick Mahomes? Remember I had posted that up? Are we finally going to get that? Right? Remember last year I made a show on that? Are we going to get that this time? Let's see. The Broncos number 1 seed, Bills number 2 seed, the Colts number 3 seed, the Ravens is number 4 seed. That's what Randy, my man Randy Watson, he had came through in the building before we done. He slided through. He says, I say the Colts get the 3 seed. And that's what they are right now. So you think they stay at 3? Good. As long as they don't get like a 1 or a 4, some shit like that, right? Stafford in California is a great story. Listen, let it happen. NFC, listen, NFC out once again. The NFC, I want to see the Bucks, Seattle, Rams. Those are the 3 teams. Okay, with the Packers, those are 4 teams, and I don't care about the matchup either. I'm just letting you know, it don't matter what the matchup is out of those 4 teams. But I would like to see a Packers in there, a Rams in there, Seattle, or the Bucks. Those are the 4 teams that I need to be the last 2 teams in the NFC. Those 4 teams, I would like to see it. I would like to see that. So Stafford in the NFC Championship some way, somehow, I would like that. I have future bets on that too, so you definitely know I need that to hit. But yeah, that's what's looking good, you know. But we gotta see it. We gotta see this thing through and see what happens. So things looking good so far, right? We had a great morning show. Sorry for what happened last night. We were supposed to have this show last night, but it was a success. We was to have it. Oh yeah. Shout out, yeah. My wife, she had came through in the buildings. I thought I forgot about somebody. She had came through and stopped in the chat real quick, so I had to drop a bomb for my wife. My fault. I was like, I know I forgot somebody that was in the chat, right? So, people, we had a good show. It was a successful show. Sorry about yesterday, right? The next shows we still have to do the number 14 part 2. I have the number 14 coming up. I might do that just the next show. I have more information that I have to, show you guys a little clues and shit like that about the number 14, especially for the Super Bowl. Very interesting, right? So the number 14 part 2, we're gonna have that show. We're also gonna have the Packers versus Cowboys. Was a tie for a reason. That's another show that we're also gonna do. So those might be the two next, not might be, but those are gonna be the two next shows we're gonna do. The other ones we have is in case we see some crazy shit the NFL does, but those two for sure, right? I was gonna do, can we finally see the Rams versus Chiefs Super Bowl? But I don't see that unless the Chiefs officially make the playoffs. If the Chiefs officially make the playoffs, then we can do a show on can we finally see the Rams versus Chiefs Super Bowl, right? So, that's kind of pushing it. But yes, the number 14 part 2 got some new information for y'all. Some new and some old information I didn't show because I had to wait for part 2 because it only makes sense if we do it that way. Packers versus Cowboys was a tie for a reason. Remember what I told you about the Cowboys. I'm not saying that they're going to go to the playoffs, but don't be surprised if they make some type of a run to make things interesting. They'll probably blow it in the end, but they'll make things interesting, right? So that's why I said they're going to, they was going to beat the Raiders. Now, members, I'm going to send picks out. Yes, we went 4-4, by the way, too. I really didn't like that. No. Yeah. I didn't like that. We went 4-4. To me, not a good look. For me, that's not my standard. That's basically 500. The reason why we went 4-4 would have been 3-4, but I gave a pick out for everybody that the Ravens was going to win money line. I put that out there. The Ravens ended up winning. So if anybody else tailed that, congratulations with that. So yeah, we ended up 4-4. The Rams had one. Oklahoma had one earlier on a Saturday, right? The Ravens had won the money line. The Cowboys had one. So Ravens, Rams, Cowboys, and Oklahoma was the 4 that won. So Chiefs lost, they stunk it up. 3 other teams. So we was decent, right? At worst comes to worst, we could stay at 500. Nothing worse than that. But I'm gonna start sending out picks tonight, and it is what it is. We had a great show. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. For all the people that's at work still listening to the show, shout out to you, right? Because you didn't have to do that, but you did. Anyone that didn't go to work yet, that's chilling, shout out to you. Of course, you had to catch it. Hopefully, I took an hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes off of work and made it a little easier for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Make it nice and breezy so y'all can enjoy the rest of the day. But yeah, number 14, part 2. That's going to be the next show. The Packers versus Cowboys was for that tie was for a reason. That's going to be another show. And anything else any news that comes, some new news, of course we'll cover that. But Chiefs money line, they are not losing to the playoffs. Listen, I have my thoughts on that, Grandy. I'm gonna speak to you on that one. But I already know who I think is winning that game. So I need to know from you guys: is it rigged? Is it fixed? Is it screwed? I'm sorry. Is it rigged? Is it scripted? Is it fixed? I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. You tell me. I'm gonna see y'all on that next show. Peace.